We live in an era of unprecedented digital connection. Yet, right next to our partners, we experience record emotional isolation. When a marriage collapses from an affair, we tend to picture a hotel room, but that is rarely how it begins anymore. It happens slowly. A simple notification becomes a conversation. That conversation breeds emotional dependence, and before anyone realizes what happened, a line has been crossed. For most of human history, your romantic alternatives were limited to the handful of people physically around you. Today, you carry thousands of highly curated options right in your pocket, allowing you endlessly scroll through romantic alternatives. Technology and social media engineered an environment that monetizes our loneliness. By providing instant validation at the touch of a button, they removed the social barriers that traditionally kept external temptations at bay. Surviving this environment requires understanding the mechanical components that hold a relationship together and seeing exactly where the digital world has started to pull those components apart. This diagram represents psychologist Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love. He proposed that a complete, resilient relationship requires three specific components to survive. Intimacy represents the emotional depth between two people. It is the quiet certainty of mutual understanding, the feeling that you are truly seen and heard by your partner. The second pillar is passion. This involves physical attraction and the neurochemical excitement that creates a sense of urgency and desire. The third is commitment. This is the active decision to stay and build together, remaining loyal even when the initial feelings of excitement inevitably fluctuate. Our brains naturally adapt to familiarity, meaning the excitement of a long-term partner often fades into a routine. When someone new appears, the resulting spike in dopamine can feel like destiny. In reality, that spark is often just the brain reacting to novelty, a chemical response to the unknown. A relationship becomes actively vulnerable when the conversations at home degrade, when deep discussions are completely replaced by logistical updates about bills and chores. The emotional foundation begins to crack. If a spouse stops listening, a partner may begin investing their emotional bandwidth into a third party who offers basic conversational attention. While they may remain physically faithful, the heart has already started to migrate. Most affairs are a direct symptom of this emotional starvation. They occur not because someone found a superior partner, but because a pillar of intimacy in their primary relationship collapsed, leaving them looking for a way to fill the void. In this state of isolation, the smartphone becomes a constant environmental threat. It provides immediate access to thousands of curated romantic alternatives, all designed to look more appealing than the person sitting on the couch next to you. This creates a comparison trap. A real, breathing partner, with all their flaws and daily stresses, is forced to compete against an infinite stream of idealized relationship fantasies. Reality is rarely able to win against a perfect digital edit. While adults struggle to balance these inputs, teenagers and young adults are navigating this ecosystem with even fewer psychological defenses. The adolescent brain is hypersensitive to social approval and romantic validation, yet it is still developing the capacity for long-term risk evaluation. This creates a gap between the desire to feel loved and the ability to see the potential consequences of digital actions. This vulnerability is often exploited through demands for proof of love, usually in the form of private photos or videos. Because the adolescent confuses the intensity of the request with the depth of the relationship, they often share content without realizing it can be saved, shared, or used for blackmail long after the feelings fade. True trust is an assessment of character built over time, but in high-intensity digital interactions, young people often trade that assessment for a temporary feeling of being wanted. When that feeling is used to extract private content, the individual is left structurally defenseless against manipulation. When we look at how these digital behaviors reshape our lives, a difficult realization emerges. The most persistent threat to a modern relationship isn't necessarily a physical betrayal. The true threat is systematic distraction. It is the reality of an algorithm successfully competing for the attention of the person sitting directly across the table from you. Technology accelerated human tendencies that have always existed. It removed the physical and social friction that used to slow down emotional connections, making secrecy and instant validation accessible with a single tap. Despite this acceleration, the reality of love still develops slowly. It requires the same trust, sacrifice, and long-term consistency it always has. There is no digital shortcut for the time it takes to truly know another person. Anyone can say I love you in a text message. The harder work is the daily discipline required to protect boundaries, keep promises, and treat loyalty as a value rather than just a feeling. The feeling of love can be triggered by a digital moment, but the reality of love is proven exclusively by behavior over time.